In 2012, a group of retired officers who resided here in Flagler County, we decided to join the Fraternal Order of Police, otherwise known as the FOP. I called the state lodge and were informed that there was a lodge that was already formed in this county. I contacted that lodge, which was in Bunnell, and I spoke with the president, and he wasn't really interested on having us join with him, but he had no objection for us to start our own lodge. Subsequently, I called the state and received some different forms that have to be filled out, and lo and behold, they came back. They called us Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 171, Flagler County, Palm Coast. Subsequent, after that, we got together and found out that we could name the lodge in the memory of somebody. We put our heads together and we came up with a Patrolman Phillip Cardillo. Patrolman Cardillo was brutally murdered in a mosque in Harlem in 1972. That's Harlem, New York City. And his killer was never brought to justice. We later found out that the Cardillo family had relocated to Flagler County, so it was apropos to name him after their late husband and father. We have with us in the studio today a retired detective of NYPD, Rudy Andre. Rudy had responded that day, that horrible day, and I'd like to get a firsthand information from Rudy, who's here alongside of me. Rudy?
No. Good afternoon. How are you?
You gotta use.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, he can leave.
You said it was okay to leave it here?
Yeah.
Forget to. All right, I'm Rudy Andre. I started NYPD as a trainee in 1967. I was promoted to a probationary patrolman in 1969. I went to the 4-5 precinct, which is Orchard Beach, City Island, and it was a slow precinct. We had a few arrests, mostly stolen cars. And I was there for about a year, and I was transferred to the 28th precinct in Harlem. 229 West 123rd Street was the precinct that I was assigned to. That precinct has since been demolished, and it's been remade on 7th Avenue, 8th Avenue actually, and between 7th and 8th Avenue and 123rd Street. I was in New York and on patrol in a 2A precinct. And in 1970, New York City lost 54 police officers with another 225 wounded by gunfire. In 1971, 1,466 homicides were committed, with 500 in the 6th Division. Now I want to tell you, the 6th Division consisted of 3 precincts, the 2-5, the 2-8, and the 3-2 precinct. Back then we wore no vests. We carried 38 caliber revolvers. I carried 2 back then. We were dealing with the Black Liberation Army, the Black Panthers, and the Black Muslims. In 1971, 12 New York City police officers were murdered and another 47 officers wounded by gunfire. In May 1971, Patrolman Thomas Curry and Nicholas Benetti were gunned down with a 45 caliber machine gun. And they were stationed in front of 404 Riverside Drive. They were not killed. They were able to recover from their injuries, and they were shot by the Black Liberation Army. Just 2 days later, May 21st, 1971, Patrolman Joseph Pagentini and Patrolman Waverly Jones of the 3-2 precinct were shot. They were shot in the back by the Black Liberation Army. I knew Patrolman Jones. We worked together early on the job. Anthony Bottoms and Herman Bell were found guilty of that homicide. A few months later, January 27, 1972, Patrolman Rocco Laurie and Patrolman Gregory Forster of the 9th Precinct, working the East Village, were shot in the back and assassinated by Twyman Myers, which I've ran after several times trying to catch, and Henry Brown. That leads me to April 14, 1972. It's about 11:40 a.m. and a radio run 1013 comes over the air. It's need assistance, and I was in a radio car downtown. My partner, Frankie Crow, he was behind me in another radio car. One was just repaired, and we were returning to the 2-8 precinct. I was around 95th Street on Madison Avenue when the original call came in. Lights and siren go on. I proceed at a high rate of speed. I reach about 110th Street, and the 1013 is called off. Lights and sirens off, but I still go at a high rate of speed just in case officers still need assistance. I get to 102 West 116th Street. I park across the street. There was a Woolworths there at that time, I believe. And I run to the front 2 doors. Now in front of this building, there's 2 stainless steel doors, and there's a 1 square foot windows that you could peer through. And before I looked through them, there was a patrolman, Vito Novera. He was beat up and he was sitting in front of the 2 doors. He had been beat up and thrown out of this building. He tells me frantically his partner is still trapped inside. I look through the window and I see 3 uniformed police officers getting beat up by about 15 men. I couldn't get in. The doors were dead bolted. A guy from EPS, Emergency Service, he comes, tries to open the door. I look away momentarily. When I look back, our officers are now on the floor getting shit kicked out of them. I pull my gun, break the glass out, and fire 3 shots over the heads of these felons. I still can't get in. The friggin' door is still locked. Patrolman Ivan Negron, he was one of the officers on the ground, was able to regain his footing, get up, and fire a couple of shots in their direction. Now, I'm yelling in the window, come open the fucking door. I said that several times before I got his attention, and he was able to come and open the door. He opens the door, I run in, 2 other officers run in. I stop where Patrolman Phillip Cardillo lied. I know Phil, he's from my command. The other 2 officers that were trapped in there with him, they were from the 2-5 precinct. They managed to get there first and went in the building with several other 2-8 members. I stop, I see Phil, I see who it is, and I said, God's going to be taking good care of you. And 2 other officers came to take him out and go to St. Luke's Hospital. I see where these criminals ran. They ran down a hallway and down a basement. I ran, followed them down, got down about 4 stairs, and I meet this Nation of Islam soldier, Mr. Beach, Thomas Beach, and he's pushing me up the fucking stairs. I would have none of that, and I still have my gun out, and I hit him in the head, and I knocked him unconscious and left him on the stairs. I walk over him, I go into the basement, and now I have 4 other officers with me. We're trying to get everybody on the wall to frisk. So with this, I'm telling this one guy, big black guy, he's not listening to what I'm telling him to do. He raises his hand, he takes a step towards me. His name is Louis Dupree, 17X. I still have my gun in my hand. I raise my hand. When he wouldn't comply and comes towards me, I knock him out. He goes down. I step over him. Now, other officers that are in the basement are lining about 14, 15 men on the wall. I took it upon myself to start frisking them. I start from the left side and start frisking each man, looking for a weapon. And when I get to the fifth man, he's Bobby Hope's 5X. I'm searching him and I notice his shirt is all disheveled. He's got blood on his collar and he was missing his right shoe. So I rear-cuff him right away. I drag his ass past Dupree. I pass Beach, who's still on the stairs unconscious. I bring him up to the lobby of this building, and I find Bobby Hope's shoe next to where Phil had laid. Now, at this point, I still didn't know Phil was shot. I drag Bobby Hope's outside, and I hand him off to a Sergeant Hall from, I don't remember the command. He was in plain clothes. And I hear shots fired on 116th Street between Lenox and 7th Avenue. I run up to mid-block and I noticed that Patrolman, or Detective then, Randy Jorgensen, was unconscious. And my commanding officer, John Howe, was helping him because he was a little unsteady. Turns out he was on a job, Randy Jorgensen was on a stakeout with two other officers. And Louis DeLessio was one of the officers with him, and Raymond. One of them fired into the air to get attention, which brought me up and over there. We were able to commandeer a bus. It was coming down, coming west on 116th Street. We stopped the bus, and the CO and the three plainclothes officers went on the bus. I followed the bus off 116th Street, and when it made its turn, I returned back to the mosque. Now I go down back into the stairs, and at that time, Louis Farrakhan was down there, raising hell. He's the black Muslim leader of Mosque Number 7. Congressman Charlie Rangel was down there, Deputy Commissioner Benjamin Ward, all berating Chief of Detectives Albert Seisman. All they wanted was all white officers out of the mosque and off 116th Street. Seidman ordered me to St. Luke's hospitals because I had cut my hand when I broke the window out in the mosque. Walking up the stairs and out the vestibule, I witnessed Nation of Islam soldiers wiping up Phil Cardillo's blood. That was a crime scene. No crime scene was ever set up. And it turns out that Chief of Detective Seaman made an agreement with Muslim high honchos to let 24 prisoners return to actually it was 15 precincts. Seaman said to bring him to the 2-4 precinct, where he would hold the investigation. Rangel and Farragut said they would do that, but they never showed up. Do you really think they would have? And on that day, there were only 3 men removed from the bottom of the mosque. That would be the 3 Nation of Islam soldiers, Mr. Thomas Beach, Louis Dupree, 17X, and Bobby Hope's 9X. Patrolman Cardillo dies 6 days later. That's all I want to do right now.
Rudy, my memory serves me correctly. The original call was an anonymous 1013 at the mosque, am I right?
Yeah, it was the original 1013. He said he was Officer Thomas.
It was never investigated, the call?
Yeah, it was investigated. The FBI got involved with it. Nothing ever became of it. They never found out who it was.
Was it Louis Dupree, 17? Wasn't he the main suspect?
Louis Dupree, 17X, was later arrested by Randy Jorgensen 2 years later.
Can you tell us about Randy Jorgensen's book?
Circle of Six, he put out a book regarding this murder of police officer Cardillo. There are the mention of Patrolman Cardillo, murder has been mentioned in four books. And Circle of Six, in my opinion, gives the best write-up of what happened that day and what happened through the trials. There were 2 trials. First one was a hung jury. The second trial was an acquittal. And then after that, but I have to say, Randy put a lot of time and effort into finding a witness that I witnessed Louis Dupree, the guy had knocked out in the basement, pull out Phil's gun from his holster and shoot him at point blank range.
Oh, jeez.
But no real investigation, no gunshot residue was tested, no bullets recovered from our guns that were fired in the mosque till years later. And where the body's laid, they never have tape up to show that it was a crime scene. It was just a fiasco and farce from the beginning. And I blame Albert Seidman for not doing his job. He was responsible. He was the lead detective at the mosque. And he failed to do it.
I remember attending their funeral subsequently, and there was no brass there. None of the high politicians weren't there.
Yeah.
The high-ranking brass weren't there, and it was kind of a sad day.
Yeah, it was a
for
slap
the
in the
whole
face.
department.
Yeah. Lindsay was the mayor,
No, he wasn't there.
and Murphy. He
Yeah.
wasn't there. Both of them weren't there. That's the first time in history.
Now, when can the folks get this book, The Circle of Six? Is it available on Amazon or?
I'm not sure if it's still available. It is? Okay. I would highly recommend it.
It's great reading if you'd like true police stories. It's not a story, it's an actual
It's an actual event
event.
of what happened to
Well put,
the
yeah.
murder of Patrolman Phillip Cardillo and the aftermath, the trials, and all the bullshit we will put through.
Okay, thank you very much, Rudy. Appreciate it. And
Okay. Ron,
anytime you,
appreciate it.
oh, by the way, Rudy is a member of the lodge.
Yeah, I'm
Longtime member.
Yeah.
He's been with us a while. And he's made other presentations in behalf of the Cardillo family. We have a street sign up above on the wall.
Yeah, we fought hard and long to get a street named for Patrolman Cardillo. We had 3,000 hand signatures, and we gave it to the community board number 10 in Harlem. And they jerked us around for 2 years, and they said, unless you get Louis Farrakhan's okay, we're not doing this.
Really?
Yeah. What a piece of shit.
Wow.
And the vote, it's got a vote.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks again, Rudy.
Okay,
Bye-bye. Well, folks,
guys, have a good day.
that have to be all for our presentation today. I hope you enjoyed it. And you'll come back to police call box again. And we always say back the blue. Goodbye.
Have a good day.